All right, you primitive screwheads, listen up.
Well, I got a burr under my saddle.
We talk, you listen.
Somebody that's going to take an innocent life is not mentally insane?
You know them.
Time to nut up or shut up.
You love to hate them.
It's the Denton and Sasquatch Show.
Can I bring my AR-15 next time?
Sure.
Yes.
This place is half talk show, half weird daycare. I love it.
You can't handle the truth.
Hello and welcome once again to the Denton and Sasquatch Show, coming to you from both Alabama and California. My name is the Squatch. I'm here in California. Then, of course, we've got Denton. He's in Alabama. And we're going to yak at you for about, 30 minutes or so. What's up, my friend?
Yeah, we're going to give it a shot. Yeah, I'm fine. Oh, by the way, just for those who are familiar with those who are putting their hats in the presidential ring, and whatever, and also knows classic CNL, Kamala, you ignorant slut.
That is funny.
Put your hat in the ring or put your ring in the hat? Kind of confused on that.
I think it's put your hat in the ring.
Okay, that'll work. Yes. Everything going well for you out there?
Yes and no.
Uh-oh.
The
yes and no.
The yes part is family's good, relationship's good. The bad part is I still live in California.
Yeah, we're going to get to that, aren't we?
Yep.
Well, I hate to hear that. I was hoping California would have extracted the cranium from the anus by now, but I guess it's not going to happen, bud.
Oh, just wait. I've got some stories for you, my friend.
Awesome. We're going to breeze through my stuff as fast as possible because we all love the California desk because we really can't believe it's real. Not in this country, but I guess it is. And for those who want to contact us via email, you can do that as Sasquatch is going to tell you right now.
Denton and Sass Show at gmail.com.
And if you want to go to our website, which I actually put something on there recently, twice, as a matter of fact, in the last couple of days.
You know what? I did notice that, and I was trying to put something up, but my internet wasn't working right, so I couldn't. But anyway, it's DentonandSasquatch.com. DentonandSasquatch.com. Okay, and also if you want to see where we usually hang out anyway, you go to prepperforms.net where we talk about everything end of the world, we're going to die, and politics and religion, and you name it. Join in. It's fun. And if you get too stupid, either Sass or I, we're going to ban you because we are moderators there, so be careful. Yeah, tell people to come and then tell them we'll ban them.
Well, it's a challenge. Come on. The order's fine. Yep. Anyway, look here, I want to jump right into this, if you don't mind. Do you mind?
I do not.
Okay, I don't know why I'm speaking so fast, because I have not had any caffeine, so I'm going to try to
Let me rephrase
mellow
that.
out.
I do not, you ignorant slut.
Just go off on a little tangent here. Saturday Night Live used to be fantastic. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Depending on what group was there. But nowadays, why bother?
Well, it's just like everything else. It's run by liberals, for liberals. It's propaganda. It's not comedy anymore.
Yeah, it's not balanced and it's not funny. Anyway, this is from the New American Globalist CFR, which stands for Council on Foreign Relations. Group of 9, G9, committee must save world order from Trump. Did you know that?
So basically, they got to steer the boat back into the New World Order direction. Yeah,
and the reason why I'm bringing this up is, you remember that topic that I started on prepperformance.net about the Army or the military? The Army is supposed to be funded for 2 years.
Yeah.
Okay, and the burr under my saddle about that is that we've had the Army, a large standing Army for decades now. And Eisenhower even warned us about that, the military-industrial complex. And trust me, I shouldn't be talking about this because I make a good living off the military-industrial complex. But then again, I'm still devoted to the Constitution, so I'm going to talk about it anyway. I can always go back to driving trucks. President Donald Trump, they say, seeks to upend their liberal world order. And so the globalist-minded Council on Foreign Relations, a key deep state institution behind the world order agenda, is calling for the creation of a new group of 9, G9, committee to save the rules-based world from Trump. Basically, proposed coalition of 9 powerful governments, which would include many of America's closest allies, and even the emerging European Union superstate, would hold down the global governance fort until a pliable globalist can be placed back in the White House. What does that tell you there?
I was going to say, let me reword that, until they can put who they want in the White House.
Exactly. Yes.
And wait, there's a couple words right there. Until a viable, I forget how you said it, can be put back in the White House. So that would mean they've already had somebody there.
No, yes. When's the last one that wasn't one?
Well, that's true. I'm just saying that so people that may not know it can kind of get the vibe.
I got it, but I'm playing with you. Now, you could say Reagan wasn't one, but he was surrounded by CFR and trilateralist members. Trump is not one, but this guy is off the chain, and we all know it. Even those of us who are backing him, he's not one, but he is surrounded by them, and they're barely able to contain him, and that scares the crap out of these people.
Yeah, I mean, so with him, though, it's like you never know what he's going to do, which is good.
Yeah, you can try to control him as much as you want 9 to 5 when he's in the Oval Office, but guess what? He's going to retire to the the White House first couple chambers or whatever, and he's got his Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's going to tell us whatever he wants to tell us. Now, people need to understand that this is a perfect example of you don't own the government. Powerful elite own the government. Whenever you watch the TV set, know that the powerful elite are telling you what to think, whether it's Fox News or CNN. They are the ones in control. And these people are saying they've got to get somebody in there to take Trump's place.
Mm-hmm.
Just a reminder for you all who think that Trump's doing a bad job. He didn't get the wall. Nancy Pelosi stopped him. Well, did he? Did she? Did it?
Or if you think, well, my guy would have done better. Well, your guy was probably one of their picks.
Exactly. And the rest of them were.
Because just for people that don't know, these people that run the world, they pick both a Republican and a Democrat. So when the last two people go in, do you have to vote for? They don't care which one you vote for because they've already picked both of them.
So when somebody says, well, if you don't vote, you can't bitch, guess what? That is a total lie, because if you did vote, typically, if you did vote, you voted for one of them. So no matter who gets in, shut up. The ones who didn't vote, they can bitch because they had a better sense and play the game. So there. Now, this is from the Shut Up Texas desk.
I like that desk. Shut up, Texas.
Don't mess with Texas. You don't go and mess with Texas. Don't mess with Texas. We some bad at. Don't mess. Really? Texas says it found 95,000 non-citizens on voter rolls. 58,000 have voted. Now, you know how they say every vote counts?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton announced Friday that the state has discovered 95,000 non-citizens on the voter rolls going back to 1996, 58,000 of whom have voted in at least one Texas election.
Now, see, that's fake news. I'm calling fake news. It's a lie. And the reason I say that is because the liberal progressives have promised us that nobody gets on the voter rolls that isn't supposed to be there. They promised.
So you're saying flag or play?
Yeah,
well,
there's no way that could happen because they promised us that doesn't happen. Anytime that they say, well, maybe we need voter ID, you have to show your ID at a voter place. They say, oh no, nobody ever gets on the voter rolls it shouldn't be on. So I got to believe what they say, right? Because they're politicians, they know.
And no dead person's ever voted in Chicago. Now here's how this happens. Twice. Now, my son doesn't live in Alabama anymore. He's got a better job somewhere else. I'm not going to say where, but every time I go to vote, you got to show your ID in Alabama because we are that kind of state. Show your ID or shut the heck up and leave.
Not in California.
And then you have to show, they're going to look at your name, and I always help them find my name because It speeds up the process. And then I'll see my son's name there, who has not lived in this state for a couple, 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there's his name. Now, a couple of years ago, I said, my son, that's my son. He doesn't live in the state anymore. And she went ahead and drew a line through it so nobody could come back and vote in his name, which is good. And this last year, I said, look, my son doesn't live in the state anymore. She goes, she hands me a form and says, here, have him fill this out. But she left his name blank.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking to myself, did I just tell her, flag this name to give it to somebody else? Now, to make matters worse, I give my son this card, and my son is just as lazy as I am. Okay, he said, I'll get around to it. And then he left. He comes here once a month. He left, and he came back, and he left. He came out. I wound up throwing the form away because I knew he was never going to do it.
You should have filled it out.
What, and forged a signature?
I wouldn't call it forging.
We are blood related, so it would have been somewhat legal, you're saying?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah, that's a ticket. Yeah, I should have. But yeah, so I can see this happening anywhere. Okay, but Texas talks about don't mess with Texas. Now, speaking, sorry, Texans, this is your day on the Denton and Sasquatch Show. Here, this is from CBNNews.com. The left tries to ban Christianity in Texas. Sudden spate of bills exalts LGBTQ ideology over rights of Christians. What do you think of that? You want me to expound first?
I think, tell me more.
A possible showdown over religious freedom is coming to the Lone Star State where, as one conservative columnist puts it, the left is trying to ban Christianity in Texas. Some conservative Texas pastors are speaking out against the state bills that would add sexual orientation and gender identity to Texas discrimination laws. As to say, the multi-letter advocates say they will enhance the rights of gay Texans. And I'm not talking about the happy Texans. I'm talking about the morality confused Texans, if you're going to put it in a more politically correct way.
All right, well, let me ask you this. Shouldn't we all have the same rights?
Yeah, you have the right to work, you have the right to shut the heck up, you have the right to pay taxes. But what do you mean?
Well, I mean, the LGBTQTXVULs, whatever they are nowadays, what rights are you going to give them that everybody else doesn't have? And why would you give them any rights that everybody else? We basically all have the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You can do that while gay.
Well, yeah, but you're absolutely right. That makes a lot of sense. But what their idea is that their rights means that nobody else can exercise their rights. For example, or the Texas bills numbered HB 224 and HB 254 and HB 850 and HB 151 would force Christian business owners to affirm homosexuality and transgenderism with their business practices. Two other bills take the LGBTQXYZ activism straight into the healthcare field. HB 517 forces Christian counselors to affirm transgenderism, and SB 154 would force doctors to violate their conscience by creating retroactive birth certificates with new gender identities for patients.
Boy.
Okay, so what we're saying here is California, what is that Pelosi said she wanted to spread San Francisco values across the country?
Yes.
Well, it seems like she's laser beam targeting Austin, Texas. Now, this means that if you have traditional Judeo-Christian ethics, morals, and principles, tough crap, because they're going to force you to buy into that crap that has destroyed so many cultures, it's not even funny. And when it destroys a culture, it destroys society. When it destroys society, it destroys the country. Just go ask the Roman Empire.
But again,
one of the things that brought it down.
This is you're making up new rights, and that's the only way you could infringe on somebody else's rights is by making up new ones. They all have the same right as us. The transgenders, they were born, science tells us, because you're either born a man or a woman, and except in the rare cases where you have both genitalia, but that's super rare. But you're an X or you're an Y. Now, if you are born an X and you want to live as a Y, I say go for it. Do it behind closed doors. Do whatever you want to do. But I don't have to call you what you aren't. You can pretend to be whatever you want, but I don't have to live by that.
If you're an X and you pretend to be a Y, I mean, it's one thing to be in theater. Okay, so disregarding that, if you're born an X and you want to be a Y and you're going to act like a Y and you think you're a Y, that's called a mental disorder.
Well, I would agree with that, but at the same time, we got homeless people walking around who have mental disorders and nobody does a thing about it. So as long as their mental disorder isn't hurting anybody else, let them pretend to be whatever. But on forms and everything else, no, you are either an X or a Y. You're whatever you were born as.
Have you seen those videos of that kid, 10, 11 years old, that obviously he's from a well-adjusted home? That was sarcasm there. That claims he's a homosexual, transgender, all this kind of crap, and they parade him around in all the San Francisco faggot parades and everything. There's a video of him with a naked transgender.
Yeah, that's called child abuse.
That's what I say. So it's not hurting anybody. It's far from hurting anybody. It's hurting children. It's hurting our culture. Therefore, it's hurting our nation.
No, I know. And what I'm getting at though is if you want to be whatever you want to be, that's fine until you start trampling on other people's rights, which is what they're trying to do by giving them rights that they don't have.
And I agree with that. Now, we're going to take mental illness one day. One of these days for a podcast, it's going to be mental illness. And I think it'll be kind of fun because maybe some people will say that we should be committed. But speaking of mental illness, people in your state vote for Nancy Pelosi so she can affect the entire country. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that, but yes, they do.
Jim Sciutto, we all know Jim Sciutto, bless his heart, Jim Sciutto. He's a reporter, or what do you want to call him? He says, new Pelosi aide confirms State of the Union address will not take place this Tuesday. No information about when House Speaker Nancy Pelosi might invite President Trump to deliver the address. CNN reporting. Yeah. Now, this is dated 27 January. Mm-hmm. Okay. The government's back open. People are getting paid. All right?
Yeah.
Why aren't we going to have the State of the Union address?
Well, that's a good question.
Well, I thought so, too. Now, we all know why. Nancy Pelosi wants to pull a coup.
Yeah, yes and no. The people that pull her strings want to pull a wait a second, let's try that again. A coup, yes. But, I mean, yes. we all know she's as dumb as a rock. So
and about as dead as a rock.
Yes, so there's somebody with their hand up her backside making her mouth move.
And I bet her husband's glad it's them and not him.
Yes.
But, yes, even though the government's open, I mean, she said, Mr. President, no State of the Union address because government shut down. And of course, President says, well, what can he say? But he says, okay, the government's back open, still no State of the Union address.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's the thing. It doesn't have to be in the House of Representatives. Mr. President, I know you're listening to us because everybody's listening to us. Do it from the Oval Office. Okay? Do it from the Oval Office. If you want to, come to the Denton and Sasquatch show, and we'll allow you to do it on our podcast. We'll be honored to have you.
Sure.
If Nancy doesn't want you there, that is to say, if Skeletor doesn't want you there, fine. Okay, but there's nothing in the Constitution that says it has to be from that house.
Oh, you know what would be even better?
What?
If Trump came to my house in California and did it from California.
Your sister would be there trying to bludgeon him with a skillet.
Well, no, we don't have to tell anybody. We'll just close down the street. The Secret Service can keep everybody out. He can come on up. I'll throw him on the mic and he can go.
You reckon the Air Force would fly me there? I'd love to see it.
They might pick you up on the way.
That'd be great.
You guys,
Well,
can
now
eat,
here's
you guys can eat McDonald's on the way here.
I don't eat McDonald's. They're anti-gun. They're pro-homosexual. They're anti-Christian. They're everything I'm not for. But, never mind. There's always Hardee's, which is, well, never mind that. I'll go to Chick-fil-A.
There you go. Pick up some Chick-fil-A on the way.
Me and Mike Pence will be there. Anyway, the Democrats, this is from The Atlantic, a very liberal place. And you can expect what kind of article it's going to be. Democrats are newly emboldened on gun control. This is written by Dick Pullman. And I'm not going to read all of it, but just to give an idea. I know what you're laughing about.
Yeah, Dick Pullman. I mean, come on. All right, go on.
I didn't even catch that. You started laughing.
All right, I've gotten past my 12-year-old boy's self. You can go on.
Okay. In July 2000, I can't. That's not that easy. You started it. In July 2001, at a meeting in Indianapolis, National Democrat Chairman Terry McAuliffe, we all remember Terry, told party brethren that gun control was an issue that they were wise to avoid. Nobody in the ballroom challenged him. The consensus at the time was that the Democrats had lost the House 7 years earlier when Newt Gingrich's GOP picked up 54 seats. By the way, for those who think the Democrats just beat the pants off the Republicans a few months ago, then the GOP picked up 54 seats. So shut the heck up. You're nothing. Anyway, and in 2001, many Democrats believed that Al Gore had lost the recent presidential race because Southern white males had tagged him as a gun controller. And we were correct. Anyway, there was ample evidence that the assault weapons ban was just one of many factors that fed the Democrat wipeout in 1994, and that Al Gore's concern about gun violence, which he rarely voiced, did not trigger his defeat. In fact, he won gun-friendly Michigan and Pennsylvania. But Democrats at the turn of the century lived in terror of the NRA. They lived in terror of the NRA. And McConnell, in a speech, which I covered as a political, remember this is a reporter talking here, which I covered as a political reporter, seemed most concerned that his party was alienating gun owners and cultural conservatives. In his words, we've got to figure this issue out. That was code for let's not talk about this issue at all, which helps to explain why John Kerry, during 2004 Democratic presidential bid, dressed in duck hunting garb to convey his respect for the gun ethos of the NRA, because that's just how stupid they think we are. But flash forward to the present day. Democrats have indeed figured the issue out by morphing from wimps to warriors on gun reform. Warriors without guns. I love it. Largely overlooked during the government stasis in Washington is the news that House Democrats celebrated their return to power by touting legislation to extend background checks that would cover most firearms purchases, even those made at gun shows and online. Stop right there. Gun purchases made online. Hey, Sass.
Yes.
Did you know that you can buy a gun online just like you could buy shampoo?
I can't even buy a shoulder strap for my gun online. They won't send them to California.
Well, this retard thinks they can. They're going to expand background checks to even cover online purchases.
Well, there can't be an online purchase because you have to go through Droz.
I ain't going through nobody's Droz, man. That's just sick.
Not Droz, Droz.
Now, just to make sure everybody understands, maybe we have somebody that's new here that is not used to our idiocy, but you can buy a gun online, but you've got to pick it up where they send it to. And the only place they can send it to is an arms dealer. That's, say, your local gun shop. Now, when you go to pick it up, you got to pay them money, of course, but also you've got to fill out the Form 4473, which they run through the FBI. Mm-hmm. Okay, you just can't waltz in there, and they will not send it to your house unless it's a, what do you call those things, those relics? You can buy a relic gun.
Oh, yeah.
Curio, I think they call them. But like an AR-15, the evil black rifles, that kind of stuff, you can't purchase it through. It's not mail order anymore. This is not the 1960s. Okay, so this guy's an idiot.
Oh, most
By
of them
the
are.
way. Yes. Well, the chief sponsor, Representative Mike Thompson of California, was once a recipient of NRA money and a B-plus rating from the NRA, but now he's hailing the gun reform bill as a decisive step to help save lives, with strong support from public polling to the ballot box.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about that bull crap?
Well, to tell you the truth, personally, I do not fear being shot or gunned down by anybody who has purchased a gun legally. My fear is the people who have not purchased them legally, and they do that whether there's a law or not. So, they can write all the laws they want. People are still going to get guns illegally, and those are the dangerous people.
So, in other words, if you're going to sell a rifle that you have, you're going to sell it probably to somebody that a friend of 10, 15, 20 years. He says, hey, Sass, I'm in need of a rifle. I need to shoot my old lady. Caught her messing around with another man. And you're going to sell him that rifle, right?
Well, not if he tells me he's going to shoot his old lady, but if he says, hey, I need a new rifle, how about yours? Sure.
Especially if his name is Hey Joe. But the point of the matter is, if it's a normal friend or whatever that you've known him, he's a good reputation, you'll sell him a rifle.
Yes, I will.
Yeah, chances are you would have a better chance of selling it to a decent person than the gun shop selling it to a person run through the FBI. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because you know that guy.
Yeah. Well, and
so
I get what you're saying, but here, even so, I couldn't sell it to him privately.
No, of course not, because you live in a communist state. But you know what? Right up the street from you is a place called Washington. Have you ever heard of it?
Yes.
Yes, there's two states there. A lot of us where I come from. There's Washington and Oregon, and we don't know which one's on top, which one's on bottom.
Washington's on top.
No, okay, thanks. Sound a little sexual there, but let's drive on. The sheriff's resisting Washington's new gun laws. He says, I'm not going to enforce that.
What?
Yeah, this is from theguardian.com. In Washington state, a freshly implanted ballot initiative and a raft of new bills may produce some of the tightest firearms regulations in the United States. But, standing in the way is a group of rural law enforcement officers who say point blank, that they won't enforce any of it.
Well,
what?
There's the key right there, rural. You're talking Seattle and places like that. Yeah, they're going to enforce it.
Yeah, well, there's hope for most of the state then.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, speaking of rural, I can't pronounce this word. The Klickitat, I'll say it, the Klickitat County Sheriff, Bob Songer, is one of them. He told The Guardian that the initiative passed last November is unconstitutional on several grounds. I've taken the position that as an elected official, I'm not going to enforce that law. What do you think of that?
Well, I think that's a good thing. I mean, you got California who's, sanctuary laws. We're making sanctuary laws, so we're breaking the law to help illegals. I mean, if they're going to do that, these cops might as well not enforce these stupid unconstitutional laws.
Yeah, well, these laws are crazy. In November, the state voters handily passed an initiative, I-1639, which mostly targeted semi-automatic rifles. As of 1 January, purchasers of these weapons must now be over 21, undergo an enhanced background check, must have completed a safety course, and need to wait 9 days to take possession of their weapons. What? 9 days doesn't make sense. 9 hours doesn't make sense for a cool-down period. 9 days is just insane.
Well,
also, gunners who fail to store their weapons safely risk felony community endangerment charges. So I guess what the sheriff's supposed to break down the houses of gun owners to say, hey, do you have a safe? What? It's over the corner? We're arresting you, pal.
Well, that's one of those things they can't enforce until something goes wrong.
Yes, well, Well, and that's the way constitutional laws ought to be, but this is above and beyond.
Well, and we have the same stupid cool down law here. Now, say I own 10 guns, and now I want to go buy another one. They're like, oh, well, you may be mad and want to kill somebody, so you can't pick it up for 10 days. So you're telling me I can't go home and get one of my other 9 guns and go kill somebody if that's what I really wanted to do? Plus, I have one on my hip because I have a concealed carry permit. So...
You morons, think about it.
Yes.
But they're morons, so they can't think about it. We used to have a 3-day cool-down period in Alabama, and a Democrat governor, Don Siegelman, struck it down, saying that, hey, look here, that's stupid. If you don't cool down with an hour, you got to go to the store, buy a gun, you got to go kill somebody. If you don't cool down that period of time, you're not going to cool down.
Well, they try to make it seem like we got vending machines on every corner with guns, and you can just throw in your $30 and get a revolver and go kill somebody, and it's not that way.
It wouldn't have been cool, though. That'd be great.
It would be great.
As long as it wasn't cheap crap, never mind. I'm not going to mention anybody.
Except it would suck when you put your $200 into, I don't know, say get a revolver or something, and then it gets stuck, and you're shaking the machine trying to get it out.
And then it shoots you.
Well, I would hope they wouldn't have it in there loaded.
Well, if you're that pissed, you're going to go shoot somebody who wants to buy bullets. It should come preloaded. Well, you don't want a candy bar wrapper with no candy bar in it, do you?
The vending machine next to it has the ammo.
Oh, okay. I can see that. Okay.
And a hot cup of coffee.
Bam! Because you're going to need to be amped up. You're going to kill that mofo because, hey, he's been cheating on your old lady.
Exactly.
Right. Well, okay, that's all. Do you have anything to segue into that sheriff's thing?
Well, I do. We got some officers here that are kind of resisting, which is good for California. Let's see here. Enough is enough for police officers in the city of Downey after hearing about the disappointing sentences of one of their own officers' murderer defendants. Many police officers and other officials went to City Hall on Tuesday to take a stand against Senate Bill 1437, according to the Downey Patriot. Ricardo Ricky Galvez, a Downey police officer, was killed in 2015, and the wounds are still fresh for the Galvez's family, friends, and coworkers because of a light sentence to one of his murderers. 20-year-old Abel Diaz, one of the accused suspects in the murder case, is headed back to juvenile hall and is believed to serve a maximum of 5 years. So he killed a cop. He's going to get maximum 5 years because of Senate Bill 1437.
Now, did he pull the trigger?
No, that's the thing. Senate Bill 1430. Okay, we used to have a law here where if you committed a felony, like killing somebody, and you were the getaway driver and you didn't kill him, you still get charged, just like the guy who pulled the trigger. Well,
well it should be.
Of course, the Democrats said, no, we can't have that anymore, so hence Senate Bill 1437. So now this guy who was a juvenile, who was in the general area to kill a police officer, is going to go, instead of to prison, he's going to juvie for maybe 5 years, and then he's out. So
he's going to come out even more hardened.
Yes, and he is already a known gang member. So, I don't blame the cops. I wouldn't want to be out on the street either. They're letting these people go.
Well, they don't have any more respect for the cops as they do the military. The Democrats, the liberals, the morons.
Of course they do not. Recently, we had a strike. The LA Union striked here. Is it striked or struck?
They struck.
Okay.
They strike. Yes, they went on strike.
There you go. That's the easy way to say it. But that's over. They came out and said, "Oh, we've reached an agreement and everybody's happy," even though they're not. The teachers really aren't that happy about it because they didn't really get what they wanted. But anyway. Now that the teachers' strike is over, the Los Angeles Teacher Union is turning its sight on a major new source of education, according to education funding, according to U.S. News. The head of the United Teachers Los Angeles Union, Alex Caputo Pearl, he has a hyphen, says the teachers will campaign for a 2020 ballot initiative to turn back Proposition 13. Do you know what Proposition 13 in California is?
I have no idea. It has some of the homosexual stuff, or is that 12 or 11?
Probably, but I wouldn't expect you to know it. But anyway, Proposition 13 basically puts the cap on taxes for your home, because without Prop 13, like, the taxes would be out of this world to buy a home here. So now what they want to do is they want to rescind it so they can go back to taxing people as high as they possibly can. But see, the thing here is, like, say I were to buy a house in Alabama where you live, it's a lot cheaper than the houses here. So the tax, you guys may not have a cap on your tax for homes. Here they had to put a cap on it because it's insane. The same house you would buy there for $200,000 here costs $800,000. So think of the taxes on that.
Actually, it's more than that. I had a friend that lived in California in the San Francisco area.
Well, yeah, that's a whole different story, but yes.
Yeah, a $60,000 home here would go for well over $1 million there.
Oh, you could not find a $60,000 home here.
That's crazy.
I mean, I defy anybody to find a $60,000 home in California.
That's not in a place called a barrio?
Not even there. I mean, I've talked about it before. I'm looking for a house myself now, and there are houses in the ghetto that are going for $600,000.
No. Whoa.
Yeah.
If you talked about it before, it just blew my mind. I don't remember it. $600,000 in a ghetto?
Yep.
Does it come with the bars in the windows?
Ah, see, that's the thing. When I'm going through online and looking at the houses, the ones with the bars on the windows, that tells me where they are.
Well, yeah. But at least you're protected somewhat. Put some sandbags along the walls, and maybe you can survive it.
Yeah, but just going in and out of the house is where you're worried.
Oh, that's true.
Well, of course, this initiative they're putting on the ballot to get rid of this, they're calling it the Schools and Community First. The thing that makes me mad about this is we spend way more money now on education here in California, and we get less for more money spent. Like in the 70s, we were one of the best, had one of the best education systems in the world, let alone the United States. Now we're like 48th, and we spend massive amounts of money more than we used to spend back then. That money all goes for, what do you think?
Cultural education.
It's not even that. It goes for salaries. Salaries
Okay.
and pensions.
Well, those pensions, I mean, they're promised some pretty hefty pensions.
Well, yeah, they are. And they keep promising them. That's the problem. Every time they have these strikes, they want more. And it's like, well, we don't have more to give. And there's like, well, take away Proposition 13. Start taxing candy bars. Do whatever you got to do to give us money. See, now the thing is, enrollment is going down in California because people are leaving California because they can't afford it anymore. Now, you take away Proposition 13 that keeps the taxes on houses down. What do you think people are going to do?
Move faster?
Yeah. So now they're going to have less kids in the schools. They won't need the teachers, so they're all going to lose their jobs. You see how this works?
Yeah, socialism sucks.
Yeah. I mean, they're going to basically monetarily work themselves out of a job.
And when California turns into Venezuela, we better build a wall real quick.
Definitely so. But like I said, send the choppers for me before you do.
Oh, we'll do it. You and your family and Hot Nursey, get ready to be evac.
All right. Well, we're running along here, so I'll do my last one really quick. Speaking of that tax, good old Gavin Newsom, our new governor here, according to the Office of Legislative Analyst, California has $18 billion in budget reserves. The Daily News reports that these budget reserves exceed the entire state budget of 18 other states. Despite California already having the highest income tax, the highest state sales tax, and the second highest gas tax, Governor Gavin Newsom and California's legislature still believe in raising the taxes even higher. During Jerry Brown's time as governor, he was unable to push a new 911 surcharge and a precedent-setting tax on water. So now Governor Newsom has taken on these tax proposals and has added them to his proposed budget. So he's wanting, if you need to call 911 because you're in danger, they're going to charge you for it now.
Oh, we do it here.
Well, that's stupid.
No, I saw an accident on the road. This was years ago anyway. And I used my cell phone and I dialed 911. And then I saw a charge on my bill, 50 cents because I used 911. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just thought it was everywhere. I didn't know any better.
Well, no, but see, the thing, you got to understand everything here. And I may not be explaining as well as I could, but we have a budget surplus of $18 billion. Now, if they would have used that money correctly, 911 should already be paid for. The water, like here, we have water mains breaking everywhere. We have 100-year-old water mains under our streets because they don't spend the money that they already tax us to fix these things. That's what government is about. That's why we set up local government. I pay you.
Yes, but understand the budget surplus doesn't mean you have to have the money there to begin with.
No, but they're not spending the taxes on what they're supposed to. What they're spending the taxes on is illegals and all this other crazy stuff. They want to give health care to illegals. They want to give education to illegals. They want to give... So when I pay my taxes, what should be going to police and fire and road safety and streets being fixed and all that normal stuff, they go, nah, we're not going to upgrade that and fix that. We're going to give it to illegals. And now...
Well, so what does this tell you? Are you white?
Last time I checked, yes.
Do you have a job?
Last time I checked, yes.
They want you out.
Well,
or as they would say in a horror movie, get out.
Well, I think what I need to do is I need to go to Mexico, rescind my citizenship, and then sneak back across the border, and then I get free stuff.
Well, not with Trump. He's going to make you stay outside the border, and then they're going to process you. And if you're not an actual refugee, they're going to kick you back.
Darn it.
God bless Trump.
Foiled again.
You should have thought about this back during the Obama administration. You'd be a millionaire.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, but let's move on to a really important topic now that you mentioned Gavin Newsom.
Well,
now, Moonbeam Brown.
Do it quick because we're running long.
Okay, Moonbeam Brown. Moonbeam.
Yes.
What do you think about Gavin Newsom? I'm thinking Rainbow Newsom.
He's got a lot of names.
Well, what do you think would be a good one?
I like Gavin Gruesome.
Gavin Gruesome. Okay.
That's what a lot of people call him.
Well, that's kind of messing with this. Well, that's messing with his patronymical name, and I don't like doing that because, I don't know, his father's father made a great guy. Maybe a ripper for all I know, but I don't know that, so I don't mess with somebody's patronymical name, so we're having a good nickname.
Well, Sissy Boy Newsom is a pretty good one. A lot of people call him that.
Okay, Sissy Boy it is. All right. Well, it sounds like you're doomed in California, and so...
Yeah, drink up. That sounds good to me.
Good night, Gracie.